When I took this course, the main thing that I realized from taking the course is that I have lived my life in fear. And it was really, it angered me or saddened me because I realized that little things I was fearful of. You know, I got in touch with that feeling. Now that I know what it was and I'm able to release it, it's opening up so much more for me. I'm open to more new adventures that don't scare me, you know. I'm not fearful of things at all. I'm sure that there's something out there that bothers me, but right now it's like, all right, let's go for it. You know, what's next? I can't wait, and I'm real excited about that.
I went back to work Friday, and the girls noticed a dramatic improvement. They said, I didn't think you could get any happier at work. Oh, it was incredible, and I found that in most cases, I'm always were, or was, intimidated by the customer in the fact that I didn't want to be pushy. You know, we weren't on commissions, but I could, you know, they always put up their guard when we would approach them, and told us back off. But I found that Friday and Saturday, nobody backed away from me. It was incredible. I just couldn't believe it, and which made me that much happier, you know.
Good morning and welcome back, those of you at home and those of you here. What we've done so far, as you know, is we've started working on this new way of releasing the wanting approval and the wanting to control. And we're actually going to take that a step further this morning. There is one want that is deeper than the wanting approval and wanting to control, and that's our wanting security or survival. Basically, we want approval in order so we can be safe. In other words, if everyone approved of you, you can go in the middle of Iraq, and if everyone in Iraq loved you and approved of you, you'd be safe. So we want approval in order to be safe, or to feel secure. And then the way the wanting to control comes into all that is we want to control them to make them approve of us so we can feel safe. So the bottom line underneath both of those wants is the wanting security or survival. So what we'll be doing today, in addition to releasing the wanting approval and wanting to control, is we'll be releasing that wanting security or survival. Now remember, we're letting go of the wanting. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with being secure. In fact, the more you let go of the wanting security and survival, the more you feel secure no matter what is going on around you. And these days, that can really come in handy. I mean, if you just look at the newspaper or watch television, it's not hard to have a lot of your insecurity come up. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen with the economy. Everything keeps changing. Well, as you start letting go of your wanting security or survival, what that does is it starts to make you a lot more in control and a lot calmer and focused and centered in the moment, no matter what is going on around you. So rather than talk about it, we'll explain that more as we go along. What I'd like to do now is have someone volunteer to work on something, and I'll show you how that fits. So who has something they'd like to work on, and I'll show you how this new wanting security or survival will relate to that.
I'll give it a try.
Sure.
Okay.
So what is it you want to
I don't know.
What's that? Tell me a little bit about what you want to work on.
Just volunteering. Something that I want to work on.
Yeah.
That would make, about being secure.
Yeah, well, see if there's an issue in your life that you think might relate to the wanting security and survival, and I'll show you how to use it, the releasing with that.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to stay alive.
Okay. Relating to the illness you mentioned yesterday, perhaps, or?
Specifically, yes, but in general, even. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the more specific we can be, the better. In other words, when we get too general, it's hard to get in touch with the want in the moment. So allow yourself to be specific. Think of a specific situation or problem in your life that might be stirring up your wanting security or survival. And remember, those of you at home don't have to wait until we work together. You can start doing this too.
Okay, I think, and it's prevalent in my life. I feel a lot more secure inside my house than I do outside my house, because anything could happen.
Right.
You know, car accident, be
Okay.
shot and killed, anything.
Right. All right. So when you talk about that, though, about leaving your house into this potentially hostile world, see if you can just allow some of that wanting security to come into your awareness, that sense of lacking security.
I can feel it.
All right. Could you allow it to release?
I never thought of it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just another one.
Yeah, I thought that's what we wanted. No.
Well, we do. All the time. We're constantly in. The wanting security and survival is so prevalent, we're in it all the time. It's like you can't see, it's like the water that we swim around in. So it's there all the time. We're actually drowning in it. But as you start to release it, you'll see that there's an inner sense of security that will get very strong within you, so that no matter what's going on around you, you can feel secure. And also very importantly, for instance, if you were in the middle of a car accident, but you weren't upset by it, don't you think you would steer the right way, do the right thing in the moment? Most of the time it's our insecurity, our panic, our fear of dying that causes us to act in ways right when we're in a situation that could be life-threatening in the way that threatens our life. But as you let go of that wanting security or survival, even when a situation has potential threat, you know what, I mean, if the train's coming at you 100 miles an hour and you're standing on the tracks, no one has to convince you have to get off the tracks. But I'm sure you've had situations in your life where, not necessarily standing in front of a train, I don't think most of us do that too often, but we're in that situation like that, and the wanting security causes us to freeze. Whereas if you don't have it, you go, wait a minute, there's a train coming, and you step aside. It doesn't take a lot of intellectual understanding to know what to do. But our wanting security and survival causes us to do the exact opposite. It causes us to act in ways constantly. We're constantly doing things to protect this body when it's totally unnecessary. And then when it is necessary, we miss the boat. All from the wanting security and survival.
So like what you were saying is wanting security means you don't have security.
Right. That's what we're letting go of, that sense of not having it.
And then we'll have it.
Right.
Okay.
All right. All right, so just again, look at that when you leave your house and you kind of go out into the world. Can you get a sense of that wanting security or survival?
Yeah. It's such a habit.
Right, it is a habit. It's a very strong habit, but it is breakable. But just a look, see, as you see, just like the wanting approval and control, as you become aware of it, it is easy to release.
That's amazing.
Okay. Focus on it again. Just allow more of it when you think about leaving your house. Not hard for you, just
Well, every time you touch it, it goes away.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. It's moving.
Good. Okay. Now just look at that again, having economic security. And what does that stir up in the moment?
Still some security.
Wanting security? All right.
Security, insecurity.
Right. So that's a wanting security. Just allow yourself to become aware of it. And I'll be quiet a moment and just allow you to release it.
Okay. It's feeling better.
Feeling better? Okay, you're still holding on to a little bit though, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yes.
Deep-seated,
Right. Now, are you wanting to control your security?
possibly.
Okay.
There's an element there of control to
right.
lock it in place.
Right.
So it won't go away.
Right. So could you let go of wanting to control your security?
Okay.
How's it now?
That helped.
Right.
Feels better.
Feels better? Okay, good. Let's take one more look inside, though. Just focus on that whole topic of economic security and see if it stirs up any other want in the moment.
Well, maybe a little bit of control
Okay.
to guarantee it.
Right. Make sure you get it. All right. All right. And I'll be quiet again, just allow you to release it.
Okay. Feels better.
Good. Would you say that's a gain?
Yes, definitely.
Good. Now look, what happens is as you let go of that financial insecurity, very often there might be a whole range of options or opportunities or even things that could come to you that you're not even aware of now because you're wanting. The wanting is blocking it. So there's nothing wrong with being economically secure. All we're letting go of is that wanting security, that sense that we lack it.
You know, it's almost as if we're denying ourselves that via that want.
Absolutely. We are. We keep ourselves in not having it. Okay?
Yes.
I would write that down because you'll forget it.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Yes. Terry.
I think one of the things that I want in my life is a relationship,
Mhm.
a meaningful relationship with a man.
Hmm.
And I'm not sure right now whether I can get in touch with that. But I know it's there.
All right. Well, just think about that. How long have you been wanting a relationship?
That's a good question too. I've been divorced for about 4 years, but I might have wanted one while I was married.
I know, I did use the word meaningful, right?
This kind of could go back. Yeah, I worked pretty hard to have one at that point too,
Right.
and I wanted that during my marriage as
Right.
well, and I wanted that to work.
Right.
So I'm getting in touch with it now.
I see. Okay. Now, what is coming up? Is it the wanting approval, the wanting control, or the wanting security or survival?
All of the above.
Which are you most aware
Okay.
of? Take the one you're most in touch with.
I think maybe approval.
Okay.
I can.
Now just allow yourself to be aware of the wanting approval. Now could you allow it to release? Remember, it's just a want.
Yeah.
See, more is coming up. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot there.
Yeah.
You've been wanting that a
There.
long time.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us spend a lot of our lives wanting that other person, that special someone.
Mm-hmm.
It's a deep one. So just allow yourself to become aware of what want is stirring up in the moment. Is it still the wanting approval?
Well, I think I can feel a lot of survival.
Okay.
My palms are sweating.
Okay. All right, so now just allow yourself to become aware of that wanting security or survival.
Okay.
Could you allow it to release?
Yeah, when you touch on it, you can
Right.
open up that little hinge.
Right, and it releases. It's not hard. So just allow yourself to become aware of more of it. Open the hinge a little more.
Okay.
Now, could you
It's scary,
just?
you know.
I know. Well, we run from it.
Yeah.
We run from it, but then it's like having the tiger by the tail, though. When we're running from wanting security or survival or any of the wants, you're afraid to let go because you're afraid the tiger is going to turn around and bite you. But believe me, it's hard work to always have the tiger by the tail, and they bite you anyway.
Right.
So just allow yourself to become aware of that want.
Yeah, I'm feeling better.
Okay. See, as you just allow yourself to allow it to come into your awareness,
Right.
it releases easily.
Mm-hmm.
look one more time. Just pull a little more of it up.
Okay. It's kind of stuck right here.
Right. Okay.
I think I
Would-
can feel that physically.
Yeah. Would you like to control that?
Yeah.
Could you let go of wanting to control it?
Yeah.
Okay, did it release when you let go?
Yeah.
Yeah. The important thing to remember for those of you here and also those of you at home, if you're ever stuck with the releasing, or even if you're aware that you're in a particular want but it's not releasing, just let go of wanting to control that. When you let go of wanting to control whatever it is that you're aware of in the moment, then it will just release very easily.
Because up here, I think,
Right.
yeah, this is good. I want to get rid of all
Right.
of it.
Yeah, well, this
Somewhere
here
down
and
here
here,
you're holding, yeah.
don't always cooperate.
Right.
But the more you release, you'll find that what happens is most of us spend a lot of our lives kind of like this, kind of out of a line, or maybe more like this. But as you release, everything comes into line.
Mhm.
And then, it's most of the time our heart and our head don't agree. It's like it's a fight. But as you keep releasing, you find harmony within yourself. And the two line up so that you can easily start to do what you know is right for you and avoid the things you know that aren't right. Okay?
Okay.
You can keep going with that?
I'll go with that for a while.
All right. Well, we'll have more opportunity to
Yeah.
work on it soon. Okay?
Okay, good,
Good.
thanks.
No, you just keep going on whatever you're working on in the moment. I'm going to give the home viewer a chance to do some releasing on this too. Some of you might be going, yeah, give me my turn. So anyway, just allow yourselves at home, just allow yourself to focus on a specific situation that may have stirred up your wanting security or survival. And remember, those of you here do the same thing. Now just allow yourself to become aware of whatever you're wanting in the moment, whether it's the wanting security right now or the wanting approval or wanting control. Now as you become aware of it, could you let it go? Focus on that same situation again and just allow yourself to become aware of that wanting security or survival or one of the other wants. And could you just let it go? Now again, just focus on that same situation and see which want it brings up in the moment. Remember, you can only release on your now want. Not what you wanted back then, but what you're wanting right now. Could you let it go? Now focus on the situation again. And just check to see what your now want is in the moment. Whatever you're wanting, could you allow it to release? Okay, take one more look inside. And just allow yourself to focus on whatever you're wanting in the moment. Just allow yourself to become aware of your now want. And could you let it go? Could you? Now what I suggest you do is pause the tape for a moment and just allow yourself to keep releasing with this new way of releasing. Just keep allowing the wants to come into your awareness and allowing them to release. It doesn't have to be difficult. You'll see that you won't even necessarily need to ask yourself any questions. Just as you become aware of it, just allow yourself to let it go.
I I worked a lot on my financial situation, and I realized that I'm my own worst enemy. And by releasing my goals of employment and receiving some income, I was able to accomplish and to make some clearer decisions, communicate with other people, and really look at things a little bit more objectively. And by staying focused on it and not kind of interfering with myself and confusing myself, I really think I made a lot of progress. I've got 2 potential areas of income, and I have a resume into a job opportunity that just kind of popped up that seems like that might work. And so, you know, I'm not there, but I'm going to keep releasing and pretty soon be where I'm supposed to be, I'm sure.
I felt a lot more vibrant this week. That somehow my feelings and emotions have just been less numb. They've been more vibrant.
So, welcome back from the break, and those of you at home, we're going to be working now on another release sheet, one that's going to help further your releasing in regards to the wanting security and also the wanting approval and control. So turn in your books to the page that says Remember. And this time we're going to be focusing on specific instances that you remember your wanting security or your wanting survival that got stirred up. Might have been going for a job interview. You might have lost your passport in a foreign country. Whatever it was, just a couple of ideas there. But let me give you a few moments, those of you at home and those of you here, to think of some specific instances where that applies. Okay, so let's do some releasing on this together now. And those of you at home, be sure to focus on your specific instance and release along as I'm working with others and you're watching others release. Okay. So who would like to begin? Dave.
A while back, my wife and I were on a flight out of Honolulu, and we were in a rather severe storm, and evidently the plane was struck by lightning. There was this tremendous explosion. There was pandemonium aboard. All the passengers were in a panic. And if anything ever brought up the wanting of survival, it was then.
Yes. Yeah. Well, when you think about that time now, Dave, which want gets stirred up about that? Is it the wanting approval or the wanting to control? Or is it the wanting survival?
Well, I think basically it was control. I would have liked to have had better control of the situation than what I had.
Okay. You just allow yourself to be aware of that wanting to control, like that out of control. Could you allow it to release? Okay. Is there more of it there? That wanting to control?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Could you let it go? Okay.
Feels lighter.
Right. Just think of the time again. Just think of yourself in that situation with your wife. And what want is there right now?
Probably survival.
Okay. Just allow yourself to be aware of that wanting survival. Could you allow it to release? Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any more of it there?
I think so.
Yeah, yeah. You see, that kind of situation really does stir it up. But could you allow more of it now to release? that idea that you lack it? Could you just let that go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's more there
It
still,
does.
though, isn't
Well,
there?
But it feels better.
Yeah. So
It
you
does
let
feel better.
you let a lot go, just seeing and being aware of it. But that part that's left, is it still the wanting survival?
Yes.
Could you allow it to release?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it has. I really don't feel the pressure that was there now that I felt earlier.
Good, good. Let's just go back and check one more time. That's the key. When you check and you think about that time again, and you think about being in that situation, are you aware of any of the wants there now?
There was. I think I just
Yeah,
let
no,
it
I
go.
think you did too. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's a key though. You could, if you keep checking back, even now, think of it again, Dave. Think of that time. What's there now? How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, fine. It seems rather comical at this point.
Okay, good. So you let it all go.
Yeah,
Would you
Yeah,
say
it
that
does.
that's a gain?
definitely. Definitely.
Good. So who would like to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay, Chris.
Things are just coming up all over the place. Dave brought that up. I had thought of two situations that had presented imminent danger for me, that and a lot of fear, that stirred up my wanting security and survival.
Okay.
But I noticed when Dave brought up his situation that it made me think of another one that I was in that even went a little bit deeper because of the simple fact that I think when I worked through the situation, it was a situation where I had such a lack of control that it was even more, the feeling of fear was even more imminent. One situation, I was at gunpoint over an issue, and I chose to turn and run. An incredible adrenaline rush and immediate decision and flight, of course, in a fight or flight reaction.
Right.
Another situation was in a subway in New York City in the wrong part of town, at the wrong time of night. But you know, those situations are something that you have a little bit more control of. The last situation you were talking about, a flight, I was in a flight that was flying into Boston Logan, and the cargo bay door had light had come on that it was indicating that it was open, and the captain came on and very nonchalantly spoke, informed everybody that this cargo bay door was open. And, well, you didn't think too much about it. A minute later, he said we have to fly by the tower so they can actually see if it's open or if it's just a faulty light. Well, when they, just before they did that, he went on and explained, well, it won't be a big problem. We'll just have to land and the door will tear off, but we'll want equipment thereby. And the thing that I remember the most is everybody on the plane, that feeling, it's not one that you would think like when you see on TV how everybody gets frantic. It's everybody tries to cover everything up and how they really feel. And especially if you're in a situation where I was by myself, and so I really didn't know the people next to me, but I did. Everybody knew everybody, and it was like the lack of being able to do anything was really, and I can definitely feel that, and the fear of just, thinking about what's going to happen over the next 10 minutes, and that could be it.
Well, now that you've talked about it a little, let's do some releasing on it. What's the want that's stirred up there right now that you're aware of?
Control.
Okay. Could you let go of wanting to control? Just the wanting.
Yes.
Okay. Can you get in touch with any more of it? That wanting to control? Could you allow it to release? When you think of that again, is there any more of that wanting to control there?
There's a little.
Okay. Just let me know when you let it go.
I let that go, and also some of the security and survival that was
Okay,
with it,
good.
too.
Good. Well, just think about that situation again. Just imagine yourself. See, it brings up more. Yeah. Which one does it stir up, Chris?
Definitely getting deeper to the survival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so just allow yourself to be aware of it. Could you allow it to release?
Yes. It's a tough one, but
Yeah.
once you get in touch with it,
Yeah. It's that kind of wanting to run away from it.
yeah.
And just see if you can get in touch with any more. That idea that you lack security, survival.
Yeah. Feel much better about it now.
Okay.
Especially
You let it
after
go.
living through it to tell about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that feels much better.
Okay, good. Would you say that that's a gain?
Definitely.
Okay. You can give yourself a couple of checks there and write in your gains book.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. So who's next? Who would like to work next on this sheet? It's a very powerful way of really getting in touch with the wants there and letting them go. Whether it be from the past or yesterday, still the past. Michael.
This was pretty hard. Pretty good in the moment, but opening the door to insecurity in the past.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pick out a specific instance.
Okay.
And I've had, like, in a plane and have a gun on you and people cheating you in business and stuff. But they all pale in comparison to just this general feeling that I have of insecurity as a child. And so what I'd like to do, if I could, is just take a day
Okay.
when I was a child.
Okay, let's do that then. Yeah, can you think of a day when you were a child? Does a specific day come to mind?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. When you think of that day, Michael, which want is there about it right now? Is it the wanting approval, the wanting to control, or the wanting security, survival?
It's hostility.
Okay. Let's trace that a little deeper. Can you get a sense of which want is underlying that?
It's control.
Okay. Could you let go of wanting to control? There's the wanting to. Okay.
Trying to relax my grip.
Are you wanting to control all the feelings there? The wants there?
Yeah, I'm holding it pretty tight.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Could you let go of wanting to control in that way? By holding on tight?
Yeah, I could.
Okay.
Yeah.
See if there's any more of it there. That wanting to control what's there.
No.
Okay, good. So when you think of that day as a child, what want is there right now?
It's better. I'm giving myself approval.
Wonderful.
Maybe a little wanting approval.
Okay.
A little
Okay.
cocky, I guess, yeah.
There it goes. Okay.
Yeah, it's more now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just check again and think of that day you have in mind as a child. What want is there now?
Yeah. Feels like I would just like to be happy.
Okay. Is that the wanting approval or wanting to control? Or wanting security?
It feels like security.
Yeah.
I just like to feel secure.
Could you allow that wanting security to release?
Yes, I could.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going away.
Yeah. Is there any more of it there, that wanting to be happy, wanting to be secure? Something we can all relate to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'd like to be happy.
Okay. Is there any wanting to control how happy you are? How is that now?
It's good.
Okay. Would you say that's a game?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would a lot.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
It's wonderful. And also just to know that when we feel happy, we feel secure. It's not even an issue. And it just is inside of us. It's not an issue at all. And vice versa. You know, when we feel secure, I guess, we feel happy. It's when we're wanting it that we don't. So as you release your wanting security, you'll also feel that much happier because you're that much more confident and secure within yourself. So you allow the happiness to be there. Okay, so let's do some releasing now with our home viewer. So just continue here on your own, taking specifics and releasing whatever want comes up about that time. And if you're not aware of the wanting security or survival at the moment, that's okay. Just go with whatever is in the moment. So those of you at home, just get comfortable. You've probably started releasing on this sheet already, so we'll either continue with the one you've started, or you can pick a fresh one if you've already released the completion on that. So just focus on a specific time when you wanted security or wanted survival. And when you think of that time, just see what want is stirred up about that. The wanting approval, the wanting to control, or was it the wanting security, wanting survival? Just allow yourself to be aware of that want. Could you let it go? And just check inside. See if there's more of that want there. Could you allow it to release? Just think of that specific time again. And allow yourself to be aware of the want that gets stirred up there about that. Whatever it is, could you allow it to release? And just look again. See if you can feel any more of that remaining want there. Could you allow yourself to let it go? Think of that time or that incident again. See what want is there now. Is it the wanting approval, the wanting to control, or the wanting security, wanting survival? Could you allow it to release? And just let it go? So if there's any more of it there, just check inside. And allow yourself to be aware of any more of that want there. Or if another one's kind of come up, that's okay, just focus on that. Could you allow it to release? Let's just check one last time. And think of that incident again. Just see if there's any remaining wanting approval, or wanting to control, or wanting security there. That idea that you lack it. And if there is, could you allow it to release? I'm going to let you continue on your own. Keep focusing on this time until it's all cleaned up, until you feel good about it. You can check off the feel-good column. And then take each of the specifics that you wrote down and focus on those, releasing whatever want is there in the moment about that.
Just to review how the wanting security and survival fits with the wanting approval and control. Again, the wanting security and survival is really the bottom line. That's what's the underpinning of what's holding together all of our limitation, all of our uncomfortable feelings, all of the problems that we have. Now again, we want approval so that we can feel safe and survive. If everyone loves us, then we'll feel safe and survive. And then underneath that is the wanting to control. We want to control, to make them approve of us so that we can feel safe and survive. And something I didn't mention earlier, sometimes we give up on ever getting the approval. So then we go directly to wanting to control in order to survive. And you probably know people like that, have given up on ever getting approval in order to feel safe. So what they do is they say, who cares about you? And they just go for the goal, and they'll do anything to get it. You've all met people like that. You've all had experiences like that where you didn't care about approval. You were just going to control in order to survive. So that's how it all relates together. So the important thing to remember is that whatever want you're aware of in the moment, that's what you need to focus on. There is no better want to release on. If you're aware of the wanting to control, just allow that to release. If you're aware of the wanting approval, just allow that to release. And then, of course, if you're aware of the wanting security or survival, just allow yourself to let it go. Also, as you keep working with the three wants, you'll notice that there'll be times when you start to feel really good. All of you have probably already noticed that. As you even just letting go of feelings or just started letting go of wanting approval and control, you start to hit a very calm, peaceful place inside. You'll start to feel happier. Remember to use that time to release too. Now there are a couple ways to work with that. First of all, when we feel good, very often we're wanting to hold on to it. And that's us wanting to control the good feeling. We feel good, we're not sure we're going to stay feeling good, so we want to hold on to it. And what of course happens is it slips away. When you're wanting to control the good feeling, bye-bye good feeling, it leaves. That's why we talked about last week and even letting go of even the good feelings. The other thing is, when you're feeling really good, that's a wonderful time to do further releasing. Remember, the key to getting the maximum benefit out of this technique is making your releasing constant. And the way to do that is keep releasing when you're feeling good. And there are two ways to do that. One is just you're feeling good, so focus on an issue that you know you still have some want stirred up about. either from a current issue that you're trying to deal with or something from the past. Or you can just sit there or stand or wherever you're involved in feeling good and just allow the wants to come into your awareness and allow them to release. You don't even need to necessarily think of a specific circumstance. In other words, you know that you still have some wanting to control left, don't you all? Don't you all know that? You still have some wanting to control left? See, now just if you allow it to, it will come up into your awareness and you can let it go. So you can be allowing the wants to come into your awareness and keep letting them go all day long, and that's a great way to keep releasing constant. You don't have to wait for the world to push you. Because believe me, it will. If you wait, it will push. But if you're willing to keep releasing constant, what happens is the world no longer has to push you around. You feel more and more in control of your world, more and more the master. And that's one of the goals of this course, is to make you completely the master of your world. So if you're willing to make releasing constant, keep releasing the 3 wants, you'll start to see that happening. So now we're going to take a break. So take a 15-minute break or so, and then we'll start again. What we'll be doing now is working on another release sheet in our books. So open your book to the page that says Dissolving Stuckness at the top of it. Now stuckness, what we mean by stuckness is just very simply, it's a particular area that you've been trying to do something about, either in your life or just when you're releasing, it's not moving. In other words, a particular feeling that you have all the time, maybe you're angry a lot or you're sad a lot, or a particular problem like smoking or being overweight, or a particular problem relationship. You might not sure you want to stay in a relationship, or you might be about to get into a relationship and you're not sure whether that's the right thing. Another example could be you've gotten a job offer in another city and you're not sure whether to go. You're stuck about making a decision. So any area where you feel a little stuck, where you feel like just some focus releasing on that area will help you get unstuck, get you moving again. That's what I mean. So take a moment and think of a topic that you'd like to do some further releasing on, and then we'll continue. Now, by the way, before we get started, I just want to let you know that just because the sheet is called Dissolving Stuckness, there's no stigma attached. It's a very powerful sheet to use to do further releasing on any topic. So, who'd like to has something they'd like to release?
I have something.
Okay, great.
It's something that I've worked on throughout the time that we've been here, and I just can't seem to get anywhere with it.
Mm-hmm.
The situation in my office with the different people that work there has gotten very adversarial over the last 8 or 9 months, 7 or 8 months. And it's not as pleasant a place to work as it used to be, and I've been avoiding it, different things like that, and I don't seem to be able to get to a place where I'm comfortable with that.
Okay, so what did you put at the top of the page as the topic?
Situation at the office.
Okay. So, well, that's a little, you might want to do,
The adversarial.
no, you could do, well, there's a couple ways to approach it. One is you could do advantages and disadvantages of being in that office.
Mm-hmm.
The other one you could do advantage, disadvantage of leaving. And then you also could do on the problem itself, advantages and disadvantages of having, of that problem at work.
About dealing with that problem at work. I don't think it's going to change, and I don't want to leave right now.
But see, the thing is, well, if you say of dealing with it, it'd be hard for you to pull it up.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You have to focus a little more on the problem itself.
The problem is the interaction between the people at work in the office.
Well, you know what you could do? You could do it very simply as advantages and disadvantages of having work be the way it is.
Okay.
How's
That's
that?
exactly it.
All right, good. So write that down.
Okay, having work be the way it is.
And by the way, that's a good thing to do at any topic, because very often we're stuck in having things the way they are at the moment. And if you start to do advantage, disadvantages of having it be that way, it's a way of taking more responsibility and a way of starting to open it up and release. So what advantage is it to you to have work be that way?
Well, I stay away from the office, so I guess that gets me at home more and I get more work done.
Okay. So is that wanting approval, wanting control, or wanting survival?
Control.
Okay. I'm going to be quiet and just allow you to release it.
Okay. Okay. I feel good.
Okay, good. 2 checks. Now, what disadvantage is it to you to have the office be that way?
Makes me uncomfortable when I have to go in there and I know what's going on.
Mm.
Makes me uncomfortable.
Okay. And does that stir up your wanting approval, wanting control, or wanting survival?
Actually, I think it's approval in some way. It starts with control, but I think it's approval.
Okay, so just allow yourself to become aware of the wanting approval. And then when you're ready, you can just let it go.
Some of it went.
Okay. You're still holding on to some of it? Could you allow the rest of it to release?
I think I'm trying to hang on to it.
Okay. It's a little stuck.
Yeah, just let that go.
You let it go? Okay, how's it now?
It's better.
It's better?
Yeah, that feels good.
Okay, 2 more checks?
Okay. Sometimes I'm afraid I'm doing it too fast and maybe I'm not getting all of it.
Okay.
I guess I'll just work.
Okay, well, look, if that comes up, is that a wanting approval or a wanting control?
Well, first it's wanting control.
Okay, so are you aware of any of the wanting control right now? Did you let it go?
No.
Now you did. Okay. Okay, before we go any further, I just want to say a couple of things to all of you here and also those of you at home about the sheet. First of all, as you notice, we started with an advantage, then we went to a disadvantage. This is not about making 2 lists. You do an advantage and then you do a disadvantage. And the reason for that is each advantage and disadvantage put together make one layer of feeling about that whole topic, one layer of wants. So you're taking off a whole layer when you get an advantage and a disadvantage. So I'll say more about it as we keep working on it. But remember, you can start working at home if you'd like. All right, so what advantage is it to you to have work be that way?
I don't think there is an advantage. It makes it more difficult for me.
Okay, but write that down. That's what came up. I don't think there is an advantage. It makes it more difficult for me. Remember, this is not an intellectual exercise. There is no right or wrong thing to write down on either column. And does that stir up a wanting approval or wanting control?
It's approval. I shouldn't be doing this.
Right. Did you let it go?
Let me see. Yeah, I feel better about it.
Okay, 2 more checks. So what disadvantage is it to you to have work be that way?
It's a loss because it used to be a very nice place to work,
Okay.
and now it's not anymore.
So write that down. It's a loss. And see which want that stirs up. Approval, control, or security.
First thing that came in my head is more like security.
Okay. So just allow yourself to become aware of that wanting security.
That's harder for me.
Okay. Would you like to control that?
I guess I would. Yeah.
Did you just let it go?
Yeah, I did.
See, you can always go back to that. Even if you know it's a wanting security or any of the other ones, and it's hard to release it, remember you can always let go of wanting to control that, and it just releases. Okay. See, let's do one more of each, and then I'll let you keep going on your own. What advantage is it to you to have the office be that way?
Well, I've removed myself, or I feel like I've divorced myself from the office, so I only deal with one person in there, so I guess that's an advantage.
Okay. So I would write that
Deal
down.
with it.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with it, sure. Okay. Again, as you notice, I'm letting you do the releasing. I'm not it.
Okay.
Did you let it go?
I think some of it, let me see.
You're still saving some?
I think so. It doesn't want to go away.
So it's still a little stuck there?
Mhm.
You're wanting to control that?
Yeah. Okay.
You see? That is like the escape valve of the method. You can always let go of wanting to control whatever you're experiencing in the moment, and then it dissolves.
It does work.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
All right, so what disadvantage is it to you to have the office be that way?
It makes me feel bad.
Makes you feel bad?
Mhm.
Okay.
That goes back to the last, but that's what came up.
Okay, makes you feel bad. But that, again, if it's a similar thing, it's okay. Just write down whatever comes up. Okay, and which want does that stir up?